Hello, this is Carol, the Otherwise Woman. This is my intuitive and interpretive reading of the prevailing energies that will be with us from the full moon on the 19th of August until the new moon on the 2nd of September of 2024. As usual, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Any resulting enlightenment is purely coincidental and unintentional. So we have an interesting mix of elements for this reading. The Lowering Sky card from the Wisdom of the Cailleach deck. The Five of Vessels, or Ecstasy, from the Wildwood Tarot. And we have Vine, sometimes called Bramble, as our Celtic tree ogham. Now, when these elements first presented themselves, I thought, wow, this reading is going to be rather schizophrenic, but I think we can tie it together. Let's start here with Vine, because one of the things that Vine does is unite and tie things together by the way it grows. So it's a very good energy related to teaching and learning different points of view, how we can synthesize those different perspectives. It also teaches us about the interplay between the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind. So with Vine, we can find our deepest wisdom coming to the surface, the things that we know, and they might not make sense to the logical mind, but we are urged to give in to that inner knowing, that intuitive sense, and maybe not so much rely on logic right now, because we're under the influence of energy that pulls our deepest truths from our depths. And that relates very, very closely to the energy of the Five of Vessels. This card is also about letting go of the sensible mind, tuning in to what lies underneath. Are we suppressing what we really feel? Are we saying we believe one thing when really that's not our truth? In this card, this woman is dancing in ecstasy. She's entering an ecstatic trance, listening to the music of the earth, responding to the rhythms of the earth. So I feel in this a very cyclic energy as well. Tune in. Now, of course, with both these elements, the Four Vessels and Vine, there comes the warning not to get too detached, okay? Not to get too detached from our mundane lives. I mean, she does keep one foot firmly on the ground while she's dancing. Well, at least her toes. So we don't want to give in too much to our wild inhibitions. Both of these energies, these elements, do carry that letting our inhibitions go and just being the wild celebratory creatures that we are. It also can caution against using other substances. She's doing an ecstatic dance. So the dance, the movement. I believe she's holding a rattle too, so I think of shamanic journeying and the drum beat, using the drum beat rather than ingesting any sort of substance that can produce an artificial ecstasy. We want the real thing, nothing artificial. So this is a good time to loosen your inhibitions a bit. Do what deep down in your soul you know you want to do that will make you feel in tune with nature and in tune with yourself. And then we get lowering sky. This is a card that warns of difficult times approaching. We may need to take shelter and wait things out. If we look at the warning inherent in these two elements, maybe this is what could happen. We could be facing obstacles, we could be facing stormy weather, we could be facing difficulties if we let ourselves become too uninhibited. But this might not be something we bring on ourselves. It might be just a time that is coming. So celebrate now, feel good now, charge your energy, make the connections with the rhythms of nature, the rhythms of your soul. Examine what patterns you see happening in your life and what can you learn from them, and how can that get you through this not so pleasant, difficult time that is approaching. I mentioned feeling a very cyclical energy with these two, or especially the Five of Vessels. And I have a story now about lowering sky. When I was first shuffling this deck of cards, immediately this card stuck out. And I pulled it out thinking maybe it wants to be the one for this reading. But it was reversed, it was upside down. And I don't read reversed cards. So I turned it around and put it back in the deck and finished shuffling, thinking, well, if it's the one that really wants to be drawn for this reading, it will show up. And apparently it is the one that wanted to show up for this reading. But if it were reversed, if it were upside down, I would think, instead of a difficult, stormy time coming, this is a difficult, stormy time that we have made it through, or we're getting through. We're almost to the end of. And it is very true. We have good times, we have bad times, we have good times, we have bad times. Nothing lasts. And stasis isn't a place we want to stay anyway. So this may be for some of us that we're coming out of a really difficult time. And we need the celebration. We need to let go and enjoy ourselves a bit. We need to, think about what we have learned and how we can use that to be better prepared when the next unpleasant time befalls. And as I'm looking at this too, I want to go expand my perspective out to the world, to the planet. This may portend, earth changes, hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, very, very difficult. weather effects that we may be living through. And I see that with the Five of Vessels, again, very aware of how she is connecting to the rhythms of the earth. So if you feel during this next moon cycle that maybe you're not in the right place, or that maybe you should evacuate if there's a hurricane or a tropical storm that is headed in your direction, and you think, yeah, it's going to hit. I mean, trust what you're feeling. Trust that you are in connection with the energies of the earth and where things are going. Can even mean that during this time there can be more advancement technologically in monitoring the earth and letting her tell us when and where, a natural disaster, or at least a natural turbulent time may be. But the turbulent times don't last. And right now I say, celebrate. Let's celebrate. Do something wild and crazy and enjoy this time. But keep your toes on the ground. We do need that connection to earthly mundane reality. So I hope you have gotten something from this reading. I do so much appreciate you being here. Please like, share, and subscribe. We need all those algorithms satisfied. Also, if you would like a personal reading from me, contact me at otherwisewomanccp@gmail.com. We'll discuss it. All right. Until the moon is new, enjoy, and I will see you in a few weeks. Goodbye.